Hi there, welcome to our Halloween Samhain celebration 2020. My name's Declan Quigley and I'm here with author Eileen McCourt. And tonight what we plan to do is Eileen will give us some reflections on this time of year and thoughts around that. I'll be doing a shamanic journey. Tonight specifically I'll be doing a psychopomp journey to the cave of lost children. Following that, we will take a 15-minute break and we will resume again from the beach here in Warren Point. So, without further ado, Eileen.
Thank you, Declan. Well, tonight our theme is birth, life, death and rebirth. And it's very apt this time of year because this is the time of year, this week in particular, when we are remembering those loved ones who have passed over before us. And Declan, I think we need to start by consoling people and getting across the message that death is nothing to be feared. That death is a very, very natural, peaceful process if we let it happen. And a lot of people are afraid of death. They fear death. It's terrifying for them because they think they've been led to believe that that is the end of them, that they are no longer in existence. Well, that is not true because we are all energy and energy never ceases to exist. It can't be killed. It doesn't die. It doesn't end. It just changes form, changes shape. And that's all we do. We just transmute into a higher form of energy. We come back, we go, we come back, we go, and that goes on. And the second reason why people are afraid of death is because of what religion has instilled into us. That we're going to meet this strict, austere, judgmental, punishing God who is going to judge us and send us for punishment somewhere. And so those people are trapped. They won't go towards the light because they're afraid of that judgment. Well, that's not going to happen. There is no judgment. The only place you will get judgment or criticism is on this earth from other human beings. There is no judgment, no punishment, no criticism in spirit. Now let me explain. I'm going to take a few analogies here to explain this to you. Let me explain the wave and the sea. The wave is only there because the sea is there. The sea has thrown the wave up. The wave has been formed from the sea. The wave has been created by the sea. The wave is the sea is the wave. So that's us and the great universal energy we call God. We are only here because the great universal energy we call God has thrown us up. We have come from that. We are that, and that is us. Again, let's think of Shakespeare's characters. All the characters he has created in all of his plays. Those characters are Shakespeare experiencing his own creativity. Those characters have come from Shakespeare, those characters are in Shakespeare, and Shakespeare is in those characters. It's the same with us and the great universal God energy. We are simply the great universal God energy experiencing itself in physical form. We have no other place to be except within the great universal God energy. There's no other place for us to exist. We're only here because the great universal energy has thrown us up, has created us, has given us life. We have formed out of that energy. And the third thing is the fog. The shapes in the fog, when you're driving through the fog, you can see the shapes forming, merging, and then separating and becoming different forms, merging again, separating and becoming different forms. That's exactly what we do. We are like the fog and the shapes in the fog. The shapes are only there because the fog is there. The shapes are the fog is the shapes. Okay? We simply merge with the great God energy, we separate again, we take a different form, we merge, we separate, we merge, we separate. That's what it all is. So those three things, the wave, the Shakespeare's characters, and the fog, those three analogies explain very well, I think, us and our relationship to this great universal God energy of which we are part. We're part of that. It is us, we are it. If you want to take one word, just one word, to explain the whole concept of birth, and life and death and rebirth, then that one word is the word vibration. Vibration is simply energy frequency, and that's what we all are. We're simply all recycled energy. We're on different vibration frequency levels. The only difference in us and the higher beings of light is the fact that we are vibrating at a much slower level than they are. They're vibrating so fast that our physical eyesight cannot see them. It's like the clothes in your washing machine. As it vibrates faster, you can't make out what's what. But as it comes to slow and goes slower and slower, you can make out everything. Or like a plane. As the engine revolves, you can't see the blades. As it slows down, you can see it all. So the faster you vibrate, that means the closer you are to spirit. Now, when we pass over, there is only one criteria that is recognizable, and that is the vibration at which your soul is moving, the vibration level. And your soul, it doesn't have to face judgment or punishment. There's no God going to come do that. Your soul automatically gravitates towards the same level of vibration that you have got it to. There is no judgment. There is nothing to fear. Your soul has done this journey many times before. Remember, you are a soul. We have a body, but we are a soul. This body, our physical part of us, is like an old coat we're going to throw off, like the caterpillar and the butterfly. And going through that process is not a struggle. The butterfly doesn't have to break its way out of the cocoon. The cocoon just dissolves and the butterfly just emerges. There is no panic, there is no trauma, unless we allow ourselves to have that trauma through the fear that we have of dying. It's a bit too like, the story about the little grub in the pond and the dragonfly. The little grub's down at the bottom of the pond, all the dirt and the filth down there, and there's a blade of grass growing up, and they can all see the light at the top and they wonder what's up there. And they all want to go up. So they encourage one wee grub to start climbing up. And he starts climbing up and he goes nearer and nearer the top and he looks down and his wee friends are clapping him on. And then he breaks the surface and he becomes a dragonfly. And he can no longer go back into the water, so he cannot go back to his little friends again. He has to wait until they come up to him. That's exactly what the dying process is. We cannot come back. That's why, you often, well, why doesn't somebody go back and tell me what's happening over there? They can't, because the vibration, they're a different vibration level. And it's all about vibration. And the higher you are, the more difficult it is to come down to this earth vibration level. That's why when you do your meditation, you get yourself into a higher vibration level in order to facilitate a meeting with the higher vibration elements of light. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere. Vibration. What else can we say about vibration? It's all about vibration, Declan. And if an angel appeared there, or a higher being of light appeared there, well, it would be very strange. You're not going to walk down the road and meet a unicorn or meet a higher vibration of light or a higher being. That's not going to happen because they cannot lower their vibration enough to come down to this vibration level. And very often people go to a medium after a loved one has passed over. And yes, that medium can connect with that loved one. And very often they tell you there's a second person with them who comes with them. And that second person has come to assist to strengthen the energy because that one person on their own could not hold the energy. So maybe another person comes with them to enable them to stay on this earth for just for a few minutes. But they can't. Once you pass this vibration level, you cannot come back. There's no coming back. Now, when you do pass over, if, say, for example, your loved one is on a higher vibration level than you, are you ever going to get to see them again? Yes, but you cannot go up to them because you can only access the vibration level that you have got yourself prepared for, that you have gained entry to. So you cannot access a higher level, but they can come down to your level, and it's only a thought process. Only instantly, it's a thought process. Right, what else can we say about death and dying? We merge with the great universal God energy at the end of our physical life existence. We are simply the great universal God energy experiencing itself in physical form. And the great universal God energy only does one thing. It creates. It does not punish. It does not condemn. It does not judge. You will not face any of that when you cross over. You will have a life review which is a quick review of your own lifetime, instantly, everything that's happened. And you will feel all the pain that you caused someone else to feel. You will feel that, and that will bring you to your knees. Likewise, any joy you caused someone else, any happiness you brought them, you will feel that as well. And it's all about balancing. It's all about karma. This is just one of our long walkabouts across eternity. Eternity is not something that starts when we die and goes on forever and ever. This is it. This is eternity. This is just one of our adventures, one of our ventures through eternity. That life review is nothing to be feared, by the way. It doesn't decide whether you go to hell or you go to heaven. Hell does not exist. But where has the idea of hell come from? This idea of hell that has been instilled into us by religion and that is causing so much fear for people when they die. Where does this idea come from? And we'll see this tonight when Declan does the psychopump with us. This idea has come from the what we call the lower astral plane, which is the belt of negativity which surrounds our earth plane vibration level. And that belt of negativity is somewhere you don't want to go, you don't want to see, you don't have anything to do with it because it's horrendous. That is where all the negativity that ever has been, it's all gathered there. And what has happened? People who have passed over in fear are often trapped in that negativity. Now, we're going to the Cave of the Lost Children tonight to rescue those children who are trapped. Now, you may say, and it's a very good point, but your children die, they're pure energy, they have nothing to fear. But you see, the point is, yes, they are pure, but they don't always go straight to the light. And why not? Because they've got to pass through some part of this negativity belt. And a lot of children die in trauma and fear, especially children of paedophiles. They die in trauma and they die in fear. And they bring that fear, that negativity with them. And instead of going straight through the tunnel of the light, they're very often caught in that negativity belt. And they can't get out. Because number one, they don't even realise they're dead. This is where the idea of hell has come from. All this horrible negativity is gathered there. And these entities very soon realise that they still have access, a certain amount of access, to this earth vibration level. And that's if we interfere with them, if we invite them in by whatever we do, then once they get a hold on us, that is where a lot of our problems come from. They can destroy you once they get in you. They're mischievous and they thrive, a bit like the witches in Macbeth. The witches are neither in this vibration level nor in the next, they're in between. And they get into Macbeth's mind and they run him amok. And that's what happens. And that's where the idea of hell has come from. And the idea of hell has been brought in to frighten us and to make us fearful. And when we die with that idea that we're going to meet this judgmental God, very often we are trapped in that negativity belt. And certainly children are trapped there. And when we go with Declan tonight to the Cave of the Lost Children, it can be horrific. Whenever I always say I'm not going to do it again, but I always end up doing it again. Because you can't not. It's something we have to do. We have to release them. You'll see the children, I see them just sitting there like zombies. They're lifeless. Their eyes are vacant. There's nothing there. They're just like empty shells. And then when they see the angels and the light coming from them, they start to light up and they start to gurgle and laugh. And away off they go. And it's beautiful. It's the most beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And maybe they'll wave back at you. And Declan, you know what? I honestly do believe that when it comes our time to pass over, and all those who help us on Facebook, the collective energy, I honestly do believe that when we come to pass over, that energy that we help tonight to pass over will come to help us. Because we're all one. That's the way it works.
And that's one of the things they say, the only thing that you take with you from this life are your good deeds.
That's right.
And the energy of that.
And the brownie points you get from those.
Yeah.
And that energy that we're going to move on tonight, that will be there to help us when we cross over. And the more we have in the collective energy, the more we'll be able to get over. Will we be able to clear the cave tonight, Declan, do you think? But then again, as soon as we clear it, it fills up again, it's a constant.
I have to stress, this
it?
isn't a psychopomp journey fully. But we are going to that place of these souls and we are sending out our positive energy.
Yes.
So that will help move them on.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
And when we go down to the beach again, we have the fire down there, and we have the moon is out tonight, and we have the water, and we do another little reflection on the water's edge there, and we'll send some more out. So Declan, are we ready to start the psycho pump?
Yes.
And see if we can clear that cave and send those children. It's the most, if you never do another good deed in your life, what you're going to do now, it's beautiful. Really, really beautiful. Yeah. So Declan, when we're ready, can we start?
Okay, well, first of all, I wanted to say your explanation of the death and the passing over process was very good.
Does
I
it
think
make
those
sense?
Analogies
It's the fear that people have attached to death and dying, Declan.
Absolutely.
If we can get that fear out of people, then we've done a good job. There is no need to fear death. It's a natural process. You're not going anywhere. It's like the channels in your television. When you're tuned into one, the other channels aren't away somewhere else. They're still all around you. They just aren't tuned in. You're not tuned into them. People who have passed over before us have not gone anywhere. They're all around us. Their vibration just so high, they just cannot always come down to our level. But they're always around us. You never lose them. You cannot destroy energy. You cannot delete energy. You can't kill it. It just changes form. That energy is all, there's nowhere for it to go. It's all around us.
And that's absolutely right. And it's an extremely important point, I think, in that the fear aspect around this is so incredibly huge. And we've been taught that. I've been taught to fear this process. But my understanding of it, is that the actual event of birth is much more difficult, much more traumatic than the slipping away of death.
I think we've got those two events the wrong way around, Declan. I think birth, what we call birth, should be death. We're dying to our natural vibration energy level. We've got to step down that energy level to take on mass or matter in order to survive in this world. And then when we come to pass on, we're actually being reborn. It's a rebirth process. There's death and life and rebirth. It's rebirth into our natural energy vibration level.
Yes.
Because this is not this is the illusion we're in here. This is not our natural energy vibration level. So that what we call death is simply a slipping away. As long as we can control ourselves and not let ourselves be fearful of it. Fear is the great weapon in the arsenal of those who wish to control us. It's the biggest negativity that is on this earth, fear. If we can get rid of the fear of dying, the dying process is a natural, peaceful, serene crossing over, like the caterpillar and the butterfly. The butterfly doesn't have to fight its way out of the cocoon. The cocoon just disappears, melts away, and the butterfly emerges. Like the wee grub going up the pond, it merges into the dragonfly. There's no struggle attached to it, but there is for those who die in fear. So that's what we're going to try and get rid of, try and help these children who have died. They have been trapped and they can't get out, and they can't, there's no way we have got to help them. We have got to get them out. And that's what we're going to do tonight.
So if you bear that in mind while you're doing this journey, I think that'll put you in the right mindset. And of course, there's no such thing as children in spirit.
That's right.
Souls, they are just souls and ageless. But in the movement from this world to the other world, we maintain that state of mind, which is reminiscent of the childhood state that these souls are coming from. So that's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at tonight. So if any of you have done these journeys with me before, you'll know the process. But for those who haven't, we are looking at a middle world journey for this one. Now, what you need to cross over into the middle world is either a doorway or a gateway or a curtain or something like that. Something that you can penetrate through from this world to the other world. So that's one thing you need. Also, our launching pad will be a place that that you are familiar with in your life, hopefully in nature, but that you can visualize, because this is all visualization, and that's how the shamanic journey begins. So if you can think of somewhere that you're very, very comfortable with, it's safe, it's secure, and all those sorts of things. So if you can think of that, and you can think of a doorway, if you can visualize those things, then that's how we'll begin. Okay, this will be done to a drum beat, which traditionally is the shamanic way of reaching over into the other world. Also, if you can maintain a slow, steady rate of breathing throughout. So perhaps breathe in for the count of 4, fill your lungs up, hold that breath for the count of 4, and then release for the count of 4, expelling all that air out of your lungs. And keep that process going. So maybe, perhaps begin that now. Lose yourself in the sound of the drum. Close your eyes, plant your feet firmly on the ground. Breathe deeply and slowly. And now, visualize that place of safety and security. And to help you do that, bring in all your senses. So firstly, take a good look around this place that you're familiar with. Look at everything in small detail. Put as much energy as you can into this process. The more you put in, the more vivid the experience will be. Are there any sounds in this place? What sounds would you normally associate with this place? Are there any smells? What does this place smell like? What's the temperature like? Reach out and touch something, anything at all. How does that feel to your hand? ready, visualize that doorway or gateway. And when you're ready, step through into the other world. And immediately you will find yourself at the bottom of a great mountain, stretching right up into the sky. The tip of the mountain reaching through the bank of clouds. This is the axis mundi, or the pillar to heaven. At this point, it's important to call in your guide. So call in your guide now. And from your left-hand side, you will see a figure approaching. Introduce yourself to your guide. Some of you may already know them. Thank them for coming in and ask for their protection and their wisdom on this journey. Your guide will have brought in a cloak of protection for you. And this cloak will disguise your life force light. Because when we cross over to the middle world and to the land of the dead, souls will immediately gravitate towards that life force light. But with this cloak, they will no longer see the light. Now, ask your guide to take you to the cave of lost children. And as you walk up the base of the mountain, feel the wind on your face. The heat of the sun on your head and shoulders. Feel each step that you make on the rocky ground. And suddenly you see the entrance to a dark and gloomy cave. And you feel a sense of unease. enter the cave, your guide will illuminate the insides. And before you see many children sitting around. So go up to one of these children and ask them what their experience has been. How did they pass on into spirit? And why are they stuck? What is unfulfilled in the life of these little souls? Perhaps there is something undone. Perhaps it's the grief of the parents that hold them to this plane. Allowing them to tell their story and vocalize the reason that they are in this place. Sometimes that's enough to help them move on. But allow these children to tell their stories to you, to express how they feel. To identify themselves to you. Ask their name. Ask their age. Hold them in your arms. Give them that comfort, that security that they miss from this world. Feel their pain. Feel their confusion. And now, ask your spirit guide to call in the great psychopomp. The angel of death, the archangel Azrael. And remember, not only is Azrael the angel of death, he is the angel of compassion, the angel for the bereaved. And his beautiful energy will help resolve pain and confusion over these little passings. And in front of you, you see a pinhole of light. And that pinhole begins to grow in size, getting bigger and bigger, until it fills the cave with dazzling light. And you feel a beautiful energy emanating all around you. You feel beautiful compassion fill your heart. And you are able to discern the figure of the archangel Azrael, who has come to take these children home. And tell the child that you've been talking to with Azrael into the light, back home. Encourage them to go. Some of them may be fearful, but tell them it's going to be okay. And watch them walking over to Azrael. Sheltering under the great black wings. And when they've all gathered around Azrael, he closes his great wings around them. And merges again back into the light. And again, that light begins to morph into a circle and then a smaller circle. And back again into that pinhole of light. And it's gone. And the children are gone with Azrael back home. And your guide leads you back out of the cave. Back out into the sunshine of the day. And again you feel the wind blow your hair and the sun on your head and shoulders. Return your cloak of protection to your guide. And ask your guide to remove any negative energy that you may have picked up in this place, this land of the dead. Ask your guide to cleanse your chakras. And feel your guide's energy passing through you. Now it's time to come back to this reality. So thank your guide and go back to that place where you first landed in the middle world. Take a final look around you. Step through the doorway, back into that place of safety and security, that place you know so well. And stop for a moment and consider what you've just seen and felt. And the image of those children leaving to go home. And now Bring your spirit back into your body. Feel the denseness of your body, the weight of your body, the weight of your arms and your legs, grounding yourself again in this body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, and only when you're ready, open your eyes. Thanks for joining us on that. I hope that was meaningful for you, and I hope you got something from it. If you have, perhaps put something in the end of this video, something in the comments section. We'd love to hear what you have. So thanks for joining in. Oh yeah.
That was beautiful. It's lovely to see the joy on their faces as they see the light and they know they're going towards the light, isn't it? And a wee smile they give you as they go off. It's beautiful. Well, we hope we have helped tonight, this being the week that's in it, when we remember our loved ones who have passed on, and the veil being so thin this time of the year. I hope we've dispelled the fear any of you might have of, number one, of dying, and number two, that you might not see your loved ones again because they haven't gone anywhere. They have simply transmuted to a higher vibration level. And because we are in the physical vibration level, we cannot see them any longer. They're still around you. And when you pass over, you will merge with them again. The energies you will have a joyful remerging of the energies. So we hope we've got that across, because death is a beautiful, natural process.
Sacred process.
Yes. And it's natural. And you see, there are no straight lines in nature. Everything comes round and round and round. We're born, we live, we die, we come back again. This is like, if you want to look on life as maybe a great big play, and we're on the stage at the moment, and then we take our exit and we're in the wings waiting to go back on again. And so it goes on and on and on. Recycling, recycling, recycling. We are simply recycled energy. There's no great mystery attached to it. But don't let fear destroy what you should be enjoying. That's all really we can point out, and just hope that people are able to get the message. Now we're going down to the beach now. Give us about 15 minutes, and we're going to have another meditation at the water's edge, using the energy of the moon. The moon is out there, isn't it yet? The energy of the moon and the water element and the fire element. Another beautiful meditation. So we'll be down there about 15 minutes, Declan?
Roughly about 15 minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Just tune us out for now, and we'll come back to you live in about 15 minutes. So we'll see you then. Thank you.
See you then.